Missy Bevers woke up long before the sun. While the rest of her neighborhood in Red Oak slept, she moved quietly through the house, careful not to disturb her husband or their 3 daughters. At 45, Missy had built her days around 2 things: her family and her passion for fitness. She was known for her energy and her drive, traits that set her apart as a Camp Gladiator instructor. Every morning, she packed her gear, laced her sneakers, and set out for Creekside Church of Christ in Midlothian. The routine was almost sacred, arriving early, setting up mats and weights, checking her messages from students eager to start their workouts before dawn. Her classes weren't just about exercise. Missy pushed her clients to be stronger, healthier, and more confident. She remembered birthdays, checked in when someone missed a session, and cheered for every small victory. Friends described her as humble and kind, someone who wanted to make a difference in her community. She had a way of making people feel seen, whether they were new to fitness or regulars at her boot camps. At home, Missy was a devoted mother. She juggled carpools, school events, and family dinners with the same dedication she brought to her classes. Her daughters saw her as their biggest supporter, and her husband, Brandon, often spoke about her determination and warmth. Missy's life was built on routine, trust, and the belief that the places she poured her energy into, her home, her church, her early morning classes, were safe. That sense of safety would be shattered in ways no one could have imagined. Thunder rolled across Ellis County as the clock crept past midnight. Creekside Church of Christ sat in darkness, its parking lot slick from the storm, the building quiet except for the hum of distant traffic. At 2 a.m, a silver Nissan Altima pulled into the lot of SWFA Outdoors just across the highway from the church. The car's headlights flickered on and off, casting brief pools of light over the empty pavement. The driver circled, paused in a far corner, then slipped away into the night. Police would later study this odd visit, but the person behind the wheel was never identified. Back at the church, something else was off. The building's exterior security cameras, usually a silent witness to every late-night arrival, were not recording. Technical failure, operator error, no one could say for sure. Whatever the reason, there would be no footage of who came or went outside. Only the interior cameras remained, their lenses fixed on empty hallways and locked doors. As dawn approached, the routine of Missy's morning class should have unfolded like any other. But at 5 a.m, 2 students arrived early for their workout. They expected to find Missy setting up, music playing, the church filled with the quiet energy of a day about to begin. Instead, they found silence. The doors were unlocked. Inside, the lights flickered on, but something felt wrong. An uneasy stillness settled over the entryway. Moments later, they discovered Missy's body in a hallway. Nothing had been stolen. Her car was outside, untouched. Her purse and phone sat where she left them. The crime had taken place in a narrow window, sometime after she arrived and before her students walked in. The only hope for answers lay with the church's surveillance footage that would soon stun investigators and the entire community. Around 4 a.m, the church's interior cameras captured a figure moving through the empty hallways. The person was wrapped head to toe in black tactical gear, a helmet, a vest that read police, gloves, and heavy boots. Every detail seemed calculated to hide their identity. The face was hidden, the body shape blurred by layers of fabric and armor. In one gloved hand, the figure carried a hammer, its head glinting under the fluorescent lights as it swung at glass doors and pried at handles. The footage runs for about 30 minutes, showing the intruder's slow, methodical circuit through the building. The person never rushes, never seems lost. Instead, they move with a strange, almost mechanical rhythm: step, pause, swing the hammer, test a door. The suspect's walk is unmistakable, a wide, swaying gait, almost duck-like, with stiff legs and a rolling motion at the hips. Some steps drag, the left foot turning outward as if favoring an old injury or walking with something bulky beneath the pants. At times, the figure stops completely, adjusting a knee pad or shifting the hammer from one hand to the other, as if aware of being watched but unconcerned about the camera's gaze. The tactical gear is both convincing and off-kilter. The vest has empty pouches, the helmet sits low, and the gloves are thick enough to mask fingerprints. The hammer, a standard claw model not police issue, serves as both tool and weapon. Over the course of the footage, the intruder smashes glass panels, sweeps up shards, and tries doors that never open. The person never speaks, never looks directly at the camera, and never reveals a face or a voice. For half an hour, the only clues are the way the suspect moves, the gear they chose, and the silent confidence with which they patrol the church. Each frame raises more questions than it answers, leaving investigators with a haunting paradox: a killer caught on camera, yet still a complete stranger. Police released the interior surveillance footage within days, hoping the public might recognize something: a walk, a gesture, a detail in the gear. The video spread quickly, generating a wave of leads that crashed over the Midlothian Police Department. More than 3,000 leads poured in from across the country. Officers sifted through every call and message, checking names, running backgrounds, and comparing local records. For weeks, detectives worked around the clock, chasing rumors and cross-checking alibis. Family members became some of the first people questioned. Missy's husband, Brandon Bevers, was hundreds of miles away, fishing off the coast of Mississippi with friends. His location was confirmed by receipts and phone records. Other relatives, like her father-in-law Randy, were also scrutinized. 4 days after the murder, Randy brought a blood-stained shirt to a dry cleaner, raising eyebrows. Forensic testing revealed the blood belonged to a dog, not a person. He had been tending to his injured pet. Each potential lead was tested, then quietly set aside. Investigators combed through Missy's phone and digital life, searching for evidence of threats, grudges, or secret plans. Nothing pointed to a motive. The church itself yielded little. No fingerprints, no DNA, no sign of a rushed escape. The hammer used in the attack, likely taken from inside the building, offered no clues. Even the suspect's tactical gear seemed designed to frustrate forensic work: thick gloves, layers of clothing, a helmet hiding every feature. Despite the volume of tips and the intensity of the search, no arrest followed. The person seen on camera remained a phantom, slipping through the cracks of every theory and test. The case, with all its haunting evidence, stood still, waiting for the one detail that could finally break it open. Within days of the footage release, the internet turned into a forensic lab. Thousands of viewers slowed the video to a crawl, measuring the suspect's stride, replaying each step, and debating every angle of the helmet's shadow. Reddit threads filled with freeze frames and stride charts, users argued over whether the gait was natural or staged, male or female, injured or disguised. Some pointed to a slight outward turn of the left foot, timing the drag against the hallway tiles. Others mapped the arm swing, noting a right-hand dominance when the hammer moved. The helmet's silhouette became its own mystery. Was it military surplus, a motorcycle shell, or something custom-built to throw off recognition? Frame numbers and timestamps like 4:20:15 a.m. and 4:58:12 a.m. became reference points in online debates, with some insisting the stride matched a local police officer, while others thought it was a deliberate misdirection. The crowd's energy was relentless, but for every theory, a counter-argument followed. No one could agree on a match. In the end, the footage became a kind of Rorschach test. Viewers saw what they wanted to see, but the figure in black stayed just out of reach. The question of motive splits the story into competing theories, each as unsettling as the last. Some believe the killer came to the church with a personal vendetta, a grudge so deep it required elaborate planning and disguise. The suspect's careful route and the fact that nothing was stolen suggest the target was never money or valuables, but Missy herself. Others see an opportunist, someone who broke in expecting an empty building and panicked when confronted. Yet the tactical gear, the hammer, and the steady movements hint at something more calculated. A third theory centers on impersonation, the suspect dressed to mimic law enforcement, perhaps to gain trust or mask their true identity. The fake police vest and helmet could have been meant to confuse, to buy time, or to send a message. With no theft and no clear connection to Missy's life, each explanation only deepens the mystery. The footage offers a chilling paradox, a killer in plain sight, but still a stranger. Today, a killer's silhouette still stalks the edges of a grainy church hallway, unclaimed and unforgotten. Each year, new technology promises answers, yet anonymity persists. Justice in plain sight remains just out of reach. Somewhere, someone knows the truth. What do you see in the shadows? Share your theories below.